Five, four, three, two, one. Close the door.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to our podcast. This is us.
I am Aminus Solihin.
I am Mahran Abdimaros. How are you doing, Kak Aminus?
I'm good, thanks. And how are you?
I'm good. So, what are we gonna do in this podcast today?
Well, we're just gonna share our ideas related to a language policy in the family.
Language policy.
Yeah. Here we're gonna talk about emphasizing a foreign language like English as a communication tool
Yeah.
at home, apart from the national and local languages. So what do you have in mind about that?
When we talk about policy, language policy, in my opinion, language policy is how to teach children a foreign language like English at home as a communication tool beside native ones. So it is intended to provide a foundation for a child to acquire multilingualism from an early age. I think this is supported by the theory of language acquisition,
Okay.
which also proves that the sooner students are introduced to the language, the better their mastery of the language itself.
So how can it be possible? I mean, how can it be the foundation to acquire multilingualism?
Well, some linguists are agree that the younger children, the sooner they absorb foreign language, they say the rate of difficulty for children to absorb the lessons of foreign languages itself is much lower than for adults. Moreover, learning a foreign language is a must nowadays, right?
Yeah.
You know, in Indonesia, when children who can speak who can speak foreign languages are pride of their parents,
Okay.
because they will be better students at school in terms of English compared to the other students, right? So multilingual children are able to communicate with people from other countries. So this is the plus point that they have.
Yeah, you have your point, but in my opinion, in this case, the children could be more proficient in the foreign language than the national language or local language.
Why do you say so?
In my opinion, emphasizing a foreign language to children at home could reduce emphasis on native language education. Here is an example. If parents focus heavily on the foreign language, let's say English for example, they might unintentionally de-emphasize the importance of maintaining and developing proficiency in the native language. This reduced emphasis can impact a child's language development in their local or national language. It's feared that the children will be more proficient in the foreign language rather than their national or local language.
You could be right, Kak, but that kind of issue can be prevented.
Okay?
I think the parents take the role to prevent it here. So, by not only emphasizing the children to use English at home,
Okay.
but also emphasizing to them to use their national or local languages.
Yeah, I get that, but there's still probability, that the case can still happen even with the help of the parents. That you mentioned. For example, you know Zoe Livana, an Indonesian model. She is an Indonesian citizen, right? And she mentioned in one of the TV shows that it's much easier for her to speak English than Indonesian, because when she's a kid, her parents use English as a language rather than Indonesian to communicate at home. So as a result, she's better at English than Indonesian.
Okay.
And one more thing, you know, language is identity, right?
Yeah.
When you speak a language, you represent the place where the language belongs to. In other words, when you speak to others using your local language, they will know where you come from. For example, you are
Palembangese,
Palembangese.
yeah.
Okay. You are Palembangese and Indonesian.
Yeah.
And if you are not able to speak or use your local and national language, and how can people know where you come from, right?
Yeah.
So this is a crucial thing to consider, to emphasize a foreign language like English as a communication tool at home besides national and local languages. Yeah.
So, well, basically, in this podcast, emphasizing a foreign language like English as a communication tool at home, some have some pros and cons. So, for the pros, emphasizing English as a communication tool at an early age will be better to master the language. For the second, multilingual children could make some pride for their parents. The third, learning English is a must nowadays for global purposes.
Okay, like I mentioned before, right?
Yeah.
Emphasizing a foreign language like English brings a few cons. First, it can de-emphasize national and local language as a communication tool, and second, for the children, the result of the emphasizing of national and local languages, it can lead to loss of their identity as a citizens and local inhabitants. I think that.
Now, after knowing these pros and cons, you will consider emphasizing a foreign language like English as a communication tool at home, guys.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, that's all for our podcast. This is about language policy, emphasizing a foreign language as a communication tool at home.
Thank you for watching.
Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.